The problem of witchcraft or wizardry is a phenomenon around Africa that is seen in a negative light. It is something that in many communities and societies, especially in Nigeria, has become something that has led to many people being maimed and even killed as a result of accusation of being witches, particularly in many parts of South and Southeast. You watch a lot of contents on the social media talking about the way there are a lot of witches in Benin, Edo State, Calabar, and other states in Nigeria. Even in Kogi State, we are not safe from the phenomenon, as a lot of women especially have lost their lives as a result of accusation from members of their communities of being witches. But witchcraft is not generally a negative thing. There are positive aspects to witchcraft. For instance, somebody who is very powerful, very strong, who is among women, who is beautiful, you can call that person a witch in that aspect. Also, the positive aspect of witchcraft is the fact that it is not only peculiar to Nigeria or Africa, it is a global phenomenon, as we have seen in many snippets and parts of movies such as Harry Potter, Merlin, and other such movies that have made headlines across the world. But why is it that the term witchcraft has become largely negative in many parts of African society? This is Confluence Podcast, and today I'm with my regular members of the team. Oiza is here, Solomon is also on the set with us, and we have a special guest. She is a member of the civil society organization in Nigeria. She works in Kogi State, and she's working on a project that concerns this matter that we are discussing today. Ma, please quickly introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. My name is Pastor Mrs. Roslyn Omowumi Alabi, the Executive Director of Duakia and HIV Prevention Initiative.
Thank you very much, Ma. Mommy is into a lot of things, but today we are focusing on this issue of witchcraft. Before I'll ask Mommy to come into this matter, guys, what do you think?
Okay, witchcraft. I feel it's more of a rural area phenomenon than urban, where in villages where a woman is very old, they term them as a witch or witches. And when a woman probably leaves her husband's house back to her father's house, in my place they call them Onyezi no Hoje. Like Onyeza is probably my father's sister, but Onyeza in this context is not in a good light. It's on the negative side. So they call them Onyezi no Hoje. When something bad happens, automatically they are the one. If a child falls sick, it's the Onyeza. If someone died, they start looking at them with corner eye. That discrimination is there. So usually when a woman stays 10 to 12 years without any child, the husband may want to take another woman. And if that second wife starts giving birth, the first one, naturally, the second one will start feeling, oh, please don't carry my child. I don't want anything that happens is the first wife. And if she gets tired of the toxic environment and want to move out, she can't go to her father's house because of what I earlier said. Then when she now chooses to rent a space, her own personal space, and stay, Then you start hearing rumors.
Rumors, yeah,
Oh,
here
she's a
and there.
witch. They drove her from her husband's house. She can't go to her father's house. Now she's back here. I said when a woman is too old, it's a problem. In the rural area, when a woman is childless, it's a
It's
problem.
problem, yeah.
When a woman leaves her husband's house, probably at old age, 50, 60, and goes back to her father's house, it becomes a problem. When a woman has certain medical problem, it becomes a problem. They look at her and say, oh, Udiviana Korewa, like it's your wickedness, your witchcraft is coming out. It's a problem that we need to address. It's not a good thing.
Yeah.
And we don't see it in urban areas. Mostly we see it in rural areas. Urban areas, you hardly.
It's there, but
You
not
hardly.
more. It's not pronounced as in the village, because I know we have done the sensitization in this even urban area, and shockingly, there are people like that. Last year, recently, we did a program, old persons hangout, and the aim is to look at how to teach the communities how to take care of older people, because they are usually abandoned by their relatives, either their children or whoever. And when we were meeting people in the community, the gatekeepers, to tell them what we are doing, and they weren't telling us, there are strong witches here and wizards. We will show you their houses. You understand? So that's how we got to know that, okay, this is even happening in the urban area, but not pronounced as in the rural area, where they go out to the extent of harming them. Here they can just say it and mind their business, but in the rural area we'll see where they harm them, either totally isolating them, restricting them to a certain level that, because when it gets to, there's no law, there's no excuse that it's above somebody's fundamental human rights. So no matter how you try to justify it, it can't work, because you are receiving the person, denying the person livelihood and his reputation, his or her reputation.
So, Solomon, we usually, when it is the regular team, you find out that we'll be at each other's throats.
Exactly.
Or Isa saying one thing, I come at her, Solomon comes in, plays the peacemaker role. But today we have a guest. So I'll allow Mommy, what is your association doing regarding this our topic today?
Thank you.
Issue of witchcraft.
Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you for bringing this topic.
Thank you.
Because this is what is happening in the local areas. And my organization, Dual Communication Initiative, we are the one going to the communities to let people know this witchcraft, what you are calling witchcraft, is not. Because there are so many things that happens to a person that they are labeling a witch. It can be psychosocial, it can be finance, it can be so many things. There are some underlying factors that make people to say this one is a witch because of ignorance. And in law, there is no ignorance. So that is where we go to community. Sometimes they even invite us. Like of recent, I went to a particular community in this state, and they told me if I didn't come within 2 days, they are going to kill that woman. What happened? They said her husband ran mad. So I quickly went there. And then they said, it is none of my business. They have their laws, they have their distance. And I told them, what happens to that man that went mad? Just like all of a sudden, they said he was quarreling with his wife. And the wife said, I will see. And they have already ostracized that woman. If we didn't do intervention, the woman would have been killed. So many women are dying silently. So many children are dying silently because the stigma is too much. For example, if a man dies, they say it's the wife that killed her husband. Do you know the traditional right? The woman will not, they say you will not take your bath until after your husband is buried. I say no, it's not supposed to be. We have laws, we have regulation in Nigeria. So until everybody is aware that this witchcraft is against human law. It's against Nigerian law. You cannot just label a person that he is a witch or a wizard. And to men too are not safe. The wife died as a result of childbirth. The wife's the relations, they bounce on him that is an Ogboni, is an this and this, that is the one who killed
Your daughter.
their daughter. And there were lots of violence on that day. But thank God, with our intervention, we were able to subdue it. So our witchcraft, everybody is a witch. Why? Because if you break government law, you don't want development. You don't pay your tax. You do what the government say you should not do. All of us, we have broken the laws. And if I say because you are not paying your tax, you are a witch, will you not be stoned or be killed? No. Until we are able to do what we are supposed to do. So when you see those acts that are not godly, it is as a result of
It
this.
is witchcraft.
Yes, it's witchcraft. It's witchcraft. That's why many people, I say many people are witchcraft. That community, they say, no, I'm not a witch, I'm not a witch. Those who insult their husband, are they not witchcraft? Why are you insulting your husband? Those people that are beating their wife, they are spirit of witchcraft. Until we resensitize them, we let them know this is what the government is saying, this is what the word of God is saying, things will continue to go down.
Thank you, mommy. Now we talked about sensitization. Sensitization is very good, and I'm glad you stepped in
Yes.
and saved that woman. But we've seen situation where some of the accused were killed, and we've also seen a situation where the accused was subjected to a
Exactly.
series of torture,
Exactly.
psychological torture,
Yes.
emotional torture,
And even
and
physical torture.
physical torture, and eventually they escape, either escape or someone saved them, just like you did to that woman. Out of the aftermath, how do they recover? Because I know that sometimes we see something that traumatizes us and we get jittery.
Yes.
It scares the life out of us. We can't move on. How do they move on from that point?
It's still what we do. For example, if we are being told that this person is no longer in the community, sometimes we look for such persons to ensure that they come back to life, because it's not easy, because the trauma and the breakdown is already established. So what we do is to look for those people, and then we begin to give them counseling, we begin to educate them, and sometimes we relocate them to another community that people don't know them until they are able to get to their feet.
Thank you very much, ma. You see, I love the question Oiza just asked
Yes.
you, the issue of psychological impact of going through such a traumatizing experience. How do you come back from it? I know a lot of organizations and even bodies can do psychological evaluation and counseling and all of that, but coming back from it is actually not easy. For instance, when we decided we were going to discuss this issue of witchcraft, my period growing up came to mind. As a kid, we stayed in a very big compound where everybody was everybody's parents. Every older person was a parent to the younger person. Sometimes when you find yourself in anybody's room or space, that person is your parent at that point in time. You have to obey them. You have to run chores for them. You have to run errands for them, do chores for them. And so that they are going to, whatever they cook in their room or in their apartment is what you're going to eat that day. No discrimination. Everybody was just free In fact, some of us as kids, maybe at the end of that day, we might end up falling asleep at the end of that day in that room. So that's where we are for that day. But as big as our compound was, we used to have 2 women. They were the witches of the house. They were the witches of the house.
Alleged.
No, now that we are grown, we know it is an allegation. But at the time, everybody believed, including us, we could not eat their food. We could eat everybody's food in the house, but not theirs. They were childless. They were childless, and they were also becoming aged, and so they were the witches of the house, and they cooked the most delicious meals of the house. But you can't eat their food because you've heard the story. Even as you're growing up as a kid, you have been told that this person is a witch. That was why they couldn't bear children. And so we believed it. But as stubborn as I was as a kid, I had snuck into their rooms and eating their food, and nothing happened to me. Since then, but you see the issue of psychological impact of being told these stories over and over and over again until they died. I didn't tell any of my peers that I ate in their because if they find out that you ate in those people's rooms, it means you have eaten witchcraft. That's the belief.
You have been initiated.
Eating witchcraft. As kids, we could leave our streets. There were days slated for public display of witches, and they were being beaten and
Dehumanized.
being dehumanized publicly.
Exactly.
So we walk several kilometers from cantonment to, I don't want to mention the area now, but those watching this podcast, I'm sure if they know this is a local jazz story from late 90s, you know the area I'm talking about. Every day we'll go and watch the way those witches were being dehumanized and beaten. But my question always is, why is it that all those witches are all women from poor backgrounds?
Either
Women
background or
without any, means of livelihood, if I put it that way. Why is it that old people whose children are well-to-do are never accused of witchcraft, and to the extent of facing this kind of dehumanization?
Thank you.
Please,
Yes.
Ma, can you throw more light on this situation?
Yes. We will look at the status. A woman that got married and there's no children, nobody will want to associate with them. Even their own family members, they will call them witch, or maybe they have aborted this and this. So in this our state or in Nigeria, if they don't see person that they have to associate with you, that they know this person can fight your battle, there is no how. That is why I pity the vulnerable women and children. There is nothing they cannot do to ensure that you are eliminated. They cannot, even if they know the mother of so senator is a witch, they dare not say it, because they know when the senator or his children catch them, they will go and still sleep in the prison. So when you don't have any person to fight for you, they call you all names. So that's why we must be our brother's keeper. These aged people, they even suffer it most in the communities. Some, they even have children, but because they went somewhere and they told them their parents are witch, they will leave. They say, if you go there, they will kill you. So eventually, those women will die wretchedly. And because they have seen what their children does to them, forsaking them, that is why your children is not taking care of you. Is traumatizing. We must work assiduously to ensure that all those stigmatization is eradicated in the community. Please, if you want me to share my story, I
Yes.
had my child after 18 years of infertility. 18 years, no
18
pregnancy.
years.
18 years.
During those 18 years,
Yes,
can you
during
share with us some of the things
Okay.
you experienced?
yes, during those 18 years, I suffered stigmatization. They call me witch. There is nothing. They say I'm a harlot. They say I have no womb. So many things. My brother, my people, I was traumatized. I will be walking as a ghost. I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes I misbehave. I don't know. Sometimes I will be crying. If I carry other people's baby, oh, they will be looking at me. They will be watching me. And when my husband now got the second wife, my God, having children, first child, second child, and I don't have it. I thank God. It's not easy. You see people that you thought they love you, they distance themselves
They
from you.
don't.
You walk alone. You do all things alone. So it is very up till now. When anytime I remember, I will cry and I will say, Lord, I thank you. And eventually, when I became pregnant, sometimes I will just tie my wrapper. I will go to that secretariat, Kogi State Secretariat, so that people will see my pregnancy. People are wondering, what is happening to this woman? Is she mad? And those who knew me, they say, no, she's not mad. If you see what she has passed through, I sold everything. I don't have nothing. I became a housemaid because the drugs we need to use is so expensive and salary cannot take it. So by the time God did it for me, I will go. I will not wear any top. Sometimes when I get to the junction, so that people will be passing, they will see my pregnancy, my tummy. So these are the things I did. And I will be crying. Is it me that is carrying this baby? And there are so many people that as a result of that, they died. They couldn't cope. They are ashamed of themselves. The society has put them aside. And even the children we were training when we don't have our own, later when maybe after their secondary school, they say they are going back to their parents, or their parents will come and say, no, I need my child. You are left with nothing. That thing is killing. So that is why I say no. Let me begin to help people in the communities. We thank God that at least this present dispensation, we have medicals, we have counselors. In our time, we don't have anything. Particularly when you go to, they say, okay, let's go to witch doctor. You get there, they tell you are a witch. Sometimes they beat me one day, sir. Broom. They were picking broom from my body. They say I'm a witch. I say, I don't dream. Which kind of a witch? Sometimes you agree, I'm a witch.
Oh,
I'm a witch. So that
they can lessen.
they can lessen it. There was a time I went to one state. They said if you get to that Baba, Baba will help you. I didn't know that Baba was a kidnapper. They have to shave my head. I didn't know. They said they shaved my head. And then they were making us to do menial jobs. Thank God the day they said they wanted to use us is one of the I've already tied white wrapper. You know, when you are looking for something, most especially you are looking for a child, you can do
Yeah,
anything.
desperate.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
It was the boy, the house boy, that told us, say, mommy, you are always giving us money. You are always helping us. This and this. This Baba will use you tomorrow. The Baba is a ritualist too. The people that are coming to buy parts will soon come. Sir, that night, I didn't know how we left me and there's one other woman too, with our leg, about 4 hours trekking in the bush. By the time we got to the main road, people were running. My head is already shaving. I was wearing white. So they had to take us to the police station. It was in that police station, another state. It was in that police station that they said they have been looking for that Baba. They've not been able to catch him. So it was there they said, which state are you coming from? I say, I am from Kogi. The other one say, I am from this place. They have to look for money and give us clothes, women. the police that are there, they gave us money and we have to come back.
Mommy, is it the same man you spent that 18 years with that you eventually have?
Yes,
Oh, to the glory of God.
to the glory of the Almighty God. Yes. So these are the things that when I see something, I'm not comfortable. If I go to the community, most especially when a woman is barren and nothing, they say it's a witch. I say no, it's not a witch. There are so
Yeah.
many factors, so many
That's
factors.
true.
It's not a witch. And we must stand in gap for them. We must take care of them to ensure that their life is preserved.
Yes.
If my life was lost, will I be where I am?
To tell your story.
Yeah.
Now, Mommy, you brought out an angle just now. I just want us to touch briefly. You said sometimes some people are misled into believing their relation is a witch.
Exactly.
Now, I think last year or year before last, I heard the story of a woman that was turning amala, and the son came, pick a pistol, and boom, on her head and killed her. What happened? He went to a herbalist that told him that the mother is the reason why he's not
Progressing. Okay, yeah.
and until she dies, he
Yes.
will never make headway.
It's a common
And he
narrative.
just came, the
Yes.
poor woman that was turning amala to eat.
Yes.
Probably she's been hungry for hours. She could not even eat the amala. The son killed her.
It's because of this kind of story that this kind of issues of violence that in 2019 there was a research we did in Kogi State, but it was focused on women. That's where we started pursuing the issue of provision of VAP law to domesticate the VAP law in Kogi State.
Violence against women.
Yes, no, it's violence
Against.
people prohibition law.
Okay.
So that law, what it does is it prohibits all forms of violence, all forms, including accusing someone of witchcraft that will lead to violence, isolation, abandonment, and rest of that. It prescribes punishment for such people. But the issue is that even in 2023 and 2024, just last year, we did a research to see the implementation of this law. It was signed into law June 27th, 2022. Yeah. So we did see the implementation, and top of the feedback we got from the society is lack of awareness. Exactly. A lot of people don't know that there's a law that prohibits this. Exactly. So even the victim or the survivor who is supposed to use this law to protect themselves don't even know. People perpetrating it are not even aware. So I think that's the area we need to also work on. And you can't leave that to civil society alone. Society can show you a model that if you take these steps, you can protect people. So there's need to support the government.
And traditional rulers.
And I need to support the government because I know the government is doing a lot. The VAP law is domiciled in the public defender. And apart from even issue of, though the prominent issue is about gender-based, but witchcraft, wizardry is a cut across both genders.
Cut across, just more of women.
You understand? So they need to look at it for what it is. It is an accusation that defames people, that causes violence, and there's need to sensitize people to stop it.
Sensitization, everyone.
Yes.
Very, very.
Gradually, from Mr. Solomon's last submission, we have been able to look at some of the solutions that we can proffer to this issue. Sensitization cannot be emphasized enough. We just need to continue to sensitize the public about this issue of accusation of people against witchcraft and how we can, stop it. Especially the society where we use people's social standing to judge whether they are witches or not. It's not right, and we cannot make progress with such kind of thoughts in our minds. Therefore, as I said earlier, witchcraft is not on its own a negative, connotation or a negative title to give to people. There are positive aspects to show of witchcraft. I hope we have learned one or two things. But before we go, we're going to wrap up now. Do you believe there's witchcraft?
I don't know.
Solomon,
Yeah,
I
do you
don't
believe
know.
there's
I believe
witchcraft?
people have abilities, and I feel that people are beautiful the way they are, and we should respect everybody.
Mommy,
Yes.
do you believe there's witchcraft?
Yes, it's in categories. I believe witchcraft, like social media, it's a form of witchcraft. In Nigeria, and they travel to so many parts.
Yeah,
of the
special
country,
ability.
but they use it
Positively.
positively.
There is a particular state in Nigeria where they say people travel to other parts of the country on sticks and ropes at
Exactly.
night. But that is also a form of witchcraft.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to see you next time on this
Thank you so
podcast.
much.
Have a great day.